Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about something every developer needs to know, that is API rate limits. If you have ever worked with third party APIs like Twitter, GitHub, or Google Maps, you might have seen a problem called too many requests. That error happens because of rate limiting. In this video, I will explain what an API rate limit actually is, why APIs use rate limits, how rate limits are actually calculated, the common types of rate limiting, and how you, as a developer, can avoid hitting them. Let us basically understand what is an API rate limit. An API rate limit is simply a rule that controls how many requests a user or application can make to an API within a specific period of time. For example, it can be 100 requests per minute, or 1000 requests per hour, or 50,000 requests per day. That depends on completely the third party application's architecture. If you cross the limit, the API stops responding and it returns an error with a status code 429 and with a message called too many requests. So, in simple words, rate limit is equal to maximum number of allowed requests in a given time window. Now let's understand, why do APIs use rate limits. So the main intentions are, it's to protect the server. Without limits, people could send millions of requests and crash down the server. Rate limits are the first line of defense to prevent overload and ensure stability for all users. Second one is fair usage. If one user sends too many requests, other people might suffer because the server might not respond to other people's. So, rate limits make sure every user gets a fair share of their resources. And the third part is preventing the abuse or bots. Rate limiting helps stop bots, spam, and DDoS like behavior. Without rate limits, APIs could be easily abused and it can increase your server cost as well. Now, let us see some real world examples. So, basically, you must have been known about GitHub API. So, the limit of GitHub API is 60 requests per hour for an unauthorized user. If you use token, it can be increased. And it happens the same with Twitter. The limit can vary, but it's only a few hundred requests per hour. And OpenAI API is a private API, so it's basically depends on your usage plan and the API key which you generate. And the fourth is Google Maps API. It basically limits requests based on second and also based on per day basis as well. So every API has its own rules. Let's get to know how rate limit are measured. So most APIs calculate rate limits using time windows. Some common formats are, first is per second. So it can be few requests per second. It's good for high speed apps like trading platform. The second is per minute or per hour basis. For example, it can be 100 requests per minute or 1000 requests per hour. Most APIs basically use this model because of the time range. Next is per day. So it can be 1 lakh requests per day. It's oftenly used for paid or large scale APIs. And the fourth one is per user or per IP or per token basis. So the limit is applied to your IP address or the API key which you use, or to the account or the access token which you have created through your account. Now let us check what are the different ways APIs implement rate limiting. So one is fixed window, where 100 requests per minute will be tracked. So for after every minute the counter resets at the end of the minute. So the next technique is sliding window. It's more flexible, like the counts are requested from the current point to the last 60 seconds. So as soon as the interval is increasing, the window is getting slided. The 60 seconds window is basically getting slided. And the third technique is token bucket. So basically it's a good approach. So For every tick, there will be like for every second there will be a token added to the bucket, and for every request you consume a token. So if the bucket is empty, then you will have to wait for the next token to be filled into the bucket. And the fourth option is leaky bucket. The requests are drained at a fixed rate, so it helps smooth out the traffic spikes. These are behind the scenes algorithms, but as a developer, you just need to understand their behavior. So now what will happen when you hit the limit? So basically you will be blocked by giving 429 status code. So this will tell you that you have to slow down the number of requests you make because you are making too many requests. And the second thing is also few APIs tells you how long you should wait so that you can again make the request by passing few headers in the response. So it will be like a retry after with a key called retry after 30 seconds, or what is the rate limit, x rate limit hyphen limit, or x rate limit hyphen remaining requests you can make, or x rate limit hyphen reset. So these are few headers through which the server gives back the rate limiting responses. How to avoid hitting rate limits? So here are few practical strategies. First thing is caching your responses. If the data doesn't change very often, you can store it locally instead of calling the API every time. Second thing is batching your request. You can combine multiple operations into a single request if the API allows it. And the third thing is adding delays and random intervals. So you can throttle your own request with small random intervals to avoid spikes. Fourth thing is using webhooks instead of polling. So instead of checking data again and again, let the API notify you when something changes. So that is the power of webhooks. And the fifth one is using multiple tokens. So some API keeps you track of the API rate limiting based on token, not on IP address. So then you can use multiple tokens. So that will give you some sort of extra API calls. And the sixth thing is upgrade your plan. So there are few APIs which allows you to make certain number of requests based on the plan which you have. So the higher the plan, the higher the limit you get. So why does rate limiting matters the most? So if you understand the topic clearly, you can build more efficient apps, and you can avoid unexpected downtime, and you can optimize your API usage as well, and you can save some money on the paid API calls like Google APIs, which charges the money based on the number of API calls you make, and you can improve your app's user experience. So rate limiting is a core concept in backend, frontend, mobile apps and cloud development, basically wherever the APIs are involved. So that's everything about API rate limits. They might seem annoying at first, but they are essential for keeping your APIs fast and secure and stable. If you understand how they work, you will be able to build much smarter and more reliable software. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.